Well, hey, everybody, come on in. Hi, guys. Good to see you. Do not adjust your settings. I am not Jordan Freed. Jordan's out today teaching with the Greater Heartland region, I think, and he asked for us to come on and say happy Monday and knock out this mojo so we can get our week started with some awesome productivity. I'm Jennie Wolek here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm going to have some friends share some mega camp ahas. And if you have some super awesome mega camp ahas as well, put them in the chat. But let's just kick off this party. We've got this recorded, so we will get started. There's the pretty Kate Conroy. Kate, do you have any mega camp ahas?
Hi. Yes, I sure do. So, one thing Tim Grover said, think of a moment where things were unknown, where a day where everything went wrong, in a time where you told yourself it anymore. And that really resonated with me because essentially we're here winning and we defeated those moments. And that's such a big aha, just because, again, I brought it up to Jordan last week on my coaching call, and he's like, Kate, what is a belief? So a belief is when you create either a perception or a perspective. So asking myself that, it's just really, what do you want to create in life? And our life is a series of seasons. So again, that I just love that. And I think it really changed the perspective of, again, one thing too, they were talking a lot about either hustle culture or happy culture. So that was awesome. Just really, again, we've been in this grind, we've been going after it. So just really changing that perspective too. So I love that.
Kate, I love that too. And I know you're a winner. And I think it was really good for us to all hear, like all of us here are winners. And it's a really good reminder that Tim Grover said was winning is weird. It's not normal. So we need to give ourselves some grace and, enjoy, and the happiness happens along the way of the journey, right? So good. So good.
Yes.
Anne Marie, Tony was bragging on your note-taking skills. We did sit by each other and maybe we got the same stuff.
Probably, and you are probably a much better and more eloquent writer. But I like to have like a summary because, you think about, okay, there's so many ahas, and what are you going to go implement and what do you remember? When somebody asks you this question, like, what was your favorite thing? And you kind of go, I got pages of notes from it, but like, what do you really remember and what sticks to you? So I was thinking about like my capsule. If I was in an elevator, I thought kind of the theme was to have prepared conversations. And that kind of stemmed from Phil Jones, the 4 cornerstones of conversations, where the number one cornerstone was the worst time to think about the things you're saying is in the moment you're saying it, which I absolutely love because it is number one, focused on a conversation. And number 2, it's words. Words matter, people matter. So in my little capsule, it's have prepared conversations, Phil Jones, with effective presence with Molly Bloom, which I thought was awesome. Her whole presentation was fantastic, and it makes me want to go see the movie that I haven't seen. But the effective presence that she talked about, which having a psychiatrist as a father, I'm sure was awesome for her. But that being the science of how you make people feel, and what she interpreted that as meaning that you need to exude warmth and you need to be a good listener, ask questions, cultivate an authentic empathy. And, Tony and I always talk about you can't teach care. Like there's so many things you can tactically teach, but you can't teach care. So I just, in my little capsule of effective presence, that was all around what I felt like the feeling side of the business, because it's really, we're dealing with families, we're not dealing with leads. So that was probably my big, from an ISA seat, the big takeaway on there's no bad lead, because you would never say a family is a bad family. So I loved that.
Good point. And we're all ISAs in our own businesses if we don't have an ISA department. And so we're all needing to understand the importance of the conversations. How many of you love we got to have conversations that count rather than counting the conversations? We've all been driven and beaten until we're blue from the number of contacts we're going to make each day. And if we're just breezing through them to say we did it instead of having an actual conversation that moves a relationship forward or moves it out, either way, it's just, I love it. I've been listening to Phil's audio book, the original book, and it's we're professional maker minder uppers. Wait, did I say that right? Basically, we got to help people make up their minds. And I'm going to put you guys, so I got a little bold and just messaged Phil and asked if he would have a conversation with me through Zoom to share with all my agent friends. He said yes. So I have a little Zoom with him on Wednesday. If you guys want to share that link with your teams, I'm really excited. I am nervous, but how do you prepare? How do you say exactly the right thing to a guy that knows exactly the right thing to say? I guess I'll just let him do all the talking. So Tony, what do you have in your ahas?
Lots of good stuff. I think with Phil, just really with the relationships matter, and to make sure that stay in curiosity, right? Like I think someone asked him, do you really care this much about these people you're talking to, right? And I'll never forget, Craig asked me the same question when he was in training with me on listings of, some of my appointments would go a long time because, if they're talking, I'm just going to listen, right? And I'm going to let them share whatever they want to share with me. And it might take double the amount of time, but the relationship's an account even further, right? So go ahead and make sure you spend time with people, and time is spelled LOVE, right? So they go hand in hand. Tim Tebow was an uh-oh. Got something going on here. Tim Tebow was really, really awesome. I thought he was really funny, actually. And sorry, I don't know what's happening.
The little hurricane warning, no.
Florida hurricanes happening, all the alarms going off.
Oh no.
Hurricane alerts.
Be safe.
So Tim Tebow worked his whole life, right, towards one goal, and it was to be the best football player he could be the best team he could be. Obviously, he went all the way to NFL, won the Heisman Trophy, and then what he realized along the way is he was really just playing a game, right? He was playing a game his whole life, and when he'd go on these mission trips, and he had people dying in front of him from starvation, right, and not having proper water, and not having the things they need in their life to live, he thought it was all kind of almost like pointless for him, right? And he's came full circle with his charities. He's now in 48 countries, right? And he's found his life mission of helping other people. And I thought that was just so powerful. We all need to make a living, right? But what else are you doing? How are you contributing to society? What are you doing to make a difference in people's lives? So that was just such a powerful message to me at the time. And I thought he was just an amazing speaker. And I have wrote down just giving is living, right, with Tony Robbins. Can't remember who on stage said that, but that's really what it's all about, I think. And that's all I got, Jenny.
So good, Tony. Thanks for sharing. Well, Britt's right here to my left, so I will let her share if you have some ahas, Britt.
Don't you not?
Okay, I will not mute myself. Go ahead.
I was just going to share the realization through the panels that we can't have it all, know it all, or be it all, and that each person that was on a panel got really, really good at one thing and mastered one thing, and then they called that lead generation. And in fact, Jason Abrams talked a lot about that in the Keller Williams Young Professionals breakout. Do what makes you happy and do more of it, and call it lead generation, and find some purpose. And so whether it's doing video or having client events or parties, channeling in with your sphere and talking more with them, just have fun and realize that what we get to do every day is truly a blessing, and be okay with that. Pick one thing and really focus in on the next 90 days and see where it takes you.
So good. So good. Does anyone else have any burning desire to share some of their big takeaways or ahas or things you've thought about? And I know it's been a little while now since we all got back from mega camp. I think while you're thinking about it and you want to raise your hand, I keep going back to, I had so much happy inside of that happy conversation. And I know that Kate mentioned it on the winning and the hustle and the grind. And we just like, I think I looked over at Brittany and we both started crying at the same exact time when Gary Keller mentioned the story about his dog. His dog is going through some health issues and knows no different because the dog is still wagging its tail and is still happy no matter what is going on and still has love and joy. And so it's just our reminder about enjoying our journey along the way. Well, unless you guys just want to chat for 5 more minutes, I'm happy to give everyone the gift of time. Does anyone else have any amazing ahas, or you want to get right to having conversations that count?
I can't go without talking about the math. Like there's so many ahas, but the boom to me was for every $50,000 in card debt at today's rate, you're actually losing $200,000 in home purchasing power. Like
Right.
that was a boom to me, like lots of ahas, but that was crazy math that we should be talking about with our peeps. And
Well,
for our,
and
Good
yeah, Anne Marie, that took me back to, the way I was trained. You went into the appointment and you were uncovering a lot more than just, do you want to list your house, right? It's like, what do you want to do when you sell your house? Do you want to pay off debt? Does it make sense to pay off that car? So then when you go purchase, you have more purchase power, right? And all of these things more from a consultant seat. And I just think that's the market we're in. We have to be consultants. We need to think much further than knowing their goal of just this much of their goal and understanding really what they're trying to do so you can coach them. So I love that Gary brought that up. That was just so smart. And then I'll reemphasize just there's people leads are people. Like there's families that need our help. And I think we get so caught in ourselves that like, has anyone on here said, hey, they don't handle rentals and they call and they say, hey, I'm looking for a rental. And your immediate thought is, I want to hang up the phone because you're not a sale, right? Well, that's a person still, right? So even if you don't handle rentals, maybe you can set them up for success. So maybe it's like, well, do you have any questions about the city? Maybe you can refer them to someone, right? I mean, so just remember there's a family on the other line.
And maybe they can actually buy this. Nobody's given them time or the guidance or ask the questions. And so it just becomes our job to be a friend. I always want to remind everyone that just because somebody's not right now business doesn't mean that they aren't in the future, and doesn't mean that they don't have amazing friends and family all around them that could be right now business. And that's just where, again, it matters so much. I want to go one more step back to Anne Marie and the slides. Now, I don't know if anybody else had a little panic attack when Phil Jones said, stop taking notes right now, stop it, unless you're going to implement. So I had a little mini panic attack. And then I was like, oh, wait, I'm going to open back up my iPad because I know I'm going to implement. So with all those slides that we got, they're all available. What are you going to do with those slides? Are you going to make some social media content, some information in your newsletter, share, think about how you're going to use that and actually implement. So make a little plan around that as well. We're just going to do some little videos, right, team? That's on our action plan for sure. So if you guys don't have anything else, I'm happy to see you today. Let me know if you need anything. Thanks to you guys for sharing, and I appreciate you. Now, I guess get on with your day. We'll talk to you later. See
Jennie,
ya.
I don't think you cussed enough for Jordan, just so you know.
No, that's just in my coaching calls with him. That's always fun. All right, you guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.